The first picture in the U.S.
I'm photojournalist Dave Eitzen. I'd like to give you a glimpse of Philadelphia that you may have never seen before.
There's this underground network of superhuman individuals doing the most incredible world-class thing. It's here in Philly.
Every single time, it's a little part of yourself on the plate.
I'll be damned as an elected official if I will stand by and watch these attacks on immigrants continue.
Keep moving, keep fighting.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cambodian New Year. It's a 4-day event. At Preah Buddha Rang Se Temple in South Philly, they honor the dead and pray for the living.
This is the, they call the Sand Mountain, that we try to be release all the bad luck from the old year to get a new year's. The flag that we have on the represent this one is the spirit of the people that pass away. The point that we do this, everyone that coming to the temple to release it, all the bad luck, to get a new luck for the new years that's gonna be coming up for this year. I hope for the everybody in the world is peace and healthy and get away from the COVID that what we have right now.
A feast. Monks are served first. If they look like they're eating on a deadline, they are. Noon, fasting until sunrise the following day. Every day. The chants are for purification and to welcome the New Year angel. The monks are done. Now we can eat.
Oh, he likes to show me.
Oh, he does. This is the good stuff. Food brought by members of the temple, homemade with love.
Some people they call clear noodle, some people they call glass noodle. I think with seafood, all kinds of seafoods in there.
All your friends and family come down and everybody's just having a good time.
Yes, it is.
It's great, right?
Right, it's real great. We are so happy every time we meet each other. It's just one family. We just like one family. We all stay in separate house, separate place. But trust me, we all love each other, work together, and have together, have fun together. Even you got some problem, big problem, small problem, that you cannot take it yourself, you can come to the temple and monk gonna give you a blessing, and that way, you know, it heals you up inside.
Bless the Buddha.
Yeah, bless the Buddha.
Is that happening right now? Or?
Yeah,
I think he go down soon now.
They go down soon. You go ahead and finish it. Okay.
Orderly line forms as Buddha statues are bathed with flower water, a cleansing and a blessing. The line then passes by the temple monks, who get a respectful dab on an open palm and a monetary donation. Freshly washed from the sins of the past and ready for a happy new year, spirits are high. The buckets are still full, so water fight!
It's a lot of fun. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to you. Oh, thank you.
Well, mine was blown. There's something about it that when you see it for the first time, it just grabs you. It's the athleticism, it looks cool, but there's also this clear like freedom of expression to it. Bermuda is, to give a basic rundown of Bermuda, it's really small. I think 65,000 of us.
Okay, so out of those 65,000, how many of them are Asian?
When I was growing up, my family.
That's it?
I was the only Asian kid in my whole school, and then my sister was the only Asian kid in her school. I think I would be proud to say my grandmother was the first Chinese woman in Bermuda, like, period, living there, yeah.
So, you being like the only one, right?
Oh, yeah.
What was that like? I mean, how were you treated?
Not great. They didn't really know what to do with me. You know, kids can be kind of like, they're scared of what they don't know. I knew that there was this thing that existed in music videos sometimes. I had a couple friends in high school who like could do a couple little moves, but I didn't know that it was like a thing. And I would stand on the side and watch for like 2 years. I was just chilling. Like I was too scared to like actually get involved with the dance. Then once I started getting into it, I found some friends there. We started, you know, kicking around on the floor. Once that popped off, I was like, I know this is where I'm gonna end up. I have to come to this city. I have to learn how to do this like in Philly the right way. Hip hop is either super welcoming or it's like the people who need it, take it. You don't need any permission to do it. It came from poverty that was a result of disenfranchisement and people not having any resources.
So you're saying hip-hop has this attraction to people who feel like unrepresented, maybe
Yes.
don't have a voice,
Yes.
and now here you are a young guy growing up in a country where there's like 3 of you,
Yep.
right?
Yep. That's hip-hop. That's that spirit. You're exactly right. So that's why you'll see anywhere where there's like downtrodden people, they're gonna find hip-hop in their own way. A lot of the Asian countries, South Korea, Japan, China, they take to hip-hop, particularly breaking, really quickly and really well because, number one, it requires a lot of discipline, which is sometimes like ingrained in those types of cultures. And number two, it does have this connection to martial arts, right? So if we were to go back to the Bronx, where it was invented, you got these young African-American Latino kids who are kicking around watching Kung Fu movies. They're watching Kung Fu saying, oh, I can do that stuff, or I'm gonna do it on the dance floor at the party. We would go out every Sunday at Rittenhouse, me and my crew. If the weather was good, we would do street shows. That was enough to get us.
And you would get, like, people would throw money in a hat kind of thing?
And we'd split it up and we'd say, great, this is how much rent is for this apartment, we're all gonna squeeze in here, and we made it work. So we were doing that for a while. Then we're like, oh, well, maybe we could like, I don't know, teach kids or something. Punch 1, punch 2, bring it up, spin down, freeze. It's great. I like to empower students with believing in yourself academically. That's what I think hip hop actually also has the power to do. Do we want to go one more round each?
Yes, sir.
We do try and work a lot on like, how are we going to build good, strong citizens? How are we going to build people who care about their community and care about each other? It's not about making somebody who is an incredible dancer. I want them to have an incredible experience within themselves of feeling like I'm doing something that I didn't know that I could do before.
I do not look Asian. My mom was born and raised in Saigon in Vietnam. I'm more Vietnamese than anything else, but, you know, look like my dad. My mom cooked a lot. When I was a kid, she would make food for, you know, her, my dad, and my brother, and me being the picky eater, I was getting something different because, you know, as a child, I was like, I don't want that. I don't want the green stuff. I moved here in 2002 to attend Drexel, and out of, we'll say, lack of anything else that was interesting to me at the time, I ended up choosing culinary.
Did you kind of like then pay more attention to your mom? Like, hey mom, how do you do this?
Everybody knew more about food than I did, and the competitive part of me was like, well, now I need to learn about all these things, and you know, I have a great resource that I could just, you know, call my mom and ask her, like, hey, I know you made this one time. What did you do? What did you use? And it actually wasn't until college and until I moved away that I really kind of appreciated everything that she was making and everything that she was doing and all the effort that she put in. She started to kind of steer a little bit and you know, give me some of those flavors that she grew up on. I was eating fish sauce, but I didn't know that, and now it's in like half the dishes. I'm like, give it all to me. That's amazing. It's delicious. I didn't dive into my heritage enough until my mom got sick. You kind of see the end coming. You'll want to know as much as you can while you can. I got a lot of recipes. Mom recipes are always a little different where, you know, in the kitchen here, everything's grammed out and specific, and, you know, the mom recipes are, you know, use the brown spoon from home. At least I have some of the nuances of how she was making things. My favorite thing that my mom made was her Vietnamese meatballs, which was always, you know, your birthday, you get a special treat, what do you want for dinner? And it was her Vietnamese pork balls, which was just ground pork, black pepper, cinnamon, a whole lot of fish sauce, some sugar. And it was always my job as a kid to mix it all up. No gloves, in fish sauce. You know, my hands smelled for 3 days. But that was my birthday dinner. Loved it, wouldn't change a thing.
Do you make those now?
I do. I actually made them here. I definitely feel her presence. A lot of it is in some of the ingredients I choose, some of the cooking techniques, and some of it is just, you know, I guess getting to do that and feeling very, like, blessed and proud.
I was reading about you the other night, and and I read that you're also into martial arts.
Yes.
Are you still into martial arts?
I don't practice it as much anymore. Just ever since I came on to city council, it's almost impossible for me to do. But we did pass my kung fu school, so.
You should have pointed it out.
Oh, yeah, I know. I was going to.
Helen Gim, journalist, educator, activist, and the first Asian female Philadelphia City Council member.
This situation is outrageous.
A longtime champion for human rights and education, she came here for college and never left. What's special about this place to you?
Well, we're here on Vine Street, which is the site of probably one of the biggest and the earliest, you know, really Asian American protests here in Philadelphia to stop the construction of what would have been the Vine Street Expressway, making 10th Street right over there an off-ramp for a highway. And instead, the Asian American community, not just Chinese, sat in front of bulldozers, forced this highway to go underground, and allowed for the continuation of this Chinatown. Had Chinatown not truly stood up, it could have gone the way of DC's Chinatown, Seattle's Chinatown, that largely got eviscerated and erased out with major development projects.
When young people's lives are on the line, when an educator's life is on the line, there's no parent in this room who doesn't want immediate repairs made to their schools.
To me, the fate of our public schools and the future of our city are inextricably intertwined. It's not something that is just a default or everybody understands that. It's actually something that here in the city of Philadelphia, complicated as it is, we actually have to fight for every single thing, every piece of visibility, every part of our existence we're going to have to lay claim to. We know the consequences of what happens when you don't. Things go away, they disappear, and they don't come back.
Philly is a lot different than when you came here for college. Talk about that, just how the city has changed in the last 20 years or so.
Philadelphia has reversed 5 decades of population decline, largely through the expansion of its immigrant population. And one of the things that we know about cities is that immigrants go to places where there's opportunity, where there's vitality, where they are likely to send their children to a public school, they have public transit. So this city that you and I both came to and loved when we were, teenagers, has grown into a city that's big enough to embrace the world. Young people want a dynamic, exciting, diverse, alive, living city that reflects the people and cultures and dreams that people have, and I think that's what you find here in Philadelphia.
Last night, 10 o'clock at night, I'm scrolling through Instagram. One of my former coworkers posted a video of the aftermath of an Asian man being attacked.
Kill somebody! Get up my face! Get the out of here!
She walks up to the man, and he's holding his head, being comforted by another stranger.
Sir, are you okay? Yeah. Do you want me to call the police?
No, it's okay.
No, I mean, he hurt you. He pushed you against the window. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm okay.
One of the things that we know about hate crimes is that they overwhelmingly silence people. Expecting people to stand up for themselves has a lot to do with people's belief that they will be heard.
We create a stereotype that confuse people or our generation. But what we have to do is to teach people to understand and to learn how to live together.
Hip-hop, which is a really diverse community. You see every type of person you could think of represented there. So I know that it's possible for us all to get along. That's why it breaks my heart.
The more you hate, the more you live in suffer, because you not live in happy, because the anger is within you all the way, all the time.
I do think there's a little bit more space to talk about these things now, and I do like the term woke because, yeah, we have to wake up to these things that have been here happening for a while.
With friends, it's harder to hear, but it's also, something where I think that it's easier to educate. Because at that point, if they really are friends and they're open to a conversation.
The lack of mutual understanding is the cause of problem. Because, as I'm a Buddhist monk and Asian people from Cambodia, we want to live in peace and happy. Everyone is like our brother and sister. We are just human beings. There is no reason to hate.
I am afraid because I am a woman. I'm afraid because I am an immigrant. I'm afraid because I am a mother of a young girl.
In this moment, I think one of the hardest things has been to ask people, in a time where there's just enormous difficulties, suffering, everybody's struggling, can we open our hearts and feel more empathy than we ever have had before? Because that is actually what's required of us now, not to close it and turn people off or say that's not serious enough. We have to open our hearts in order to be able to see a more expansive vision and commitment to racial justice, no matter where the injustices may be occurring.
What I've seen, not just in my family, but in sometimes Asian cultures in general, is okay, just lay low. Don't rock the boat. Don't make noise. Keep your head down. Do what you got to do. Go to work, and everything's gonna be cool. Yeah, to an extent that's true, but also don't be afraid to be bold either, and stand up for what you believe in, what you want, and go get yours, and be proud of who you are.